Review Tweener. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book series The Inheritance Cycle. There are 4 books in this series called Eragon, Eldest, Brisinga and Inheritance. Okay, so the author of The Inheritance Cycle was actually 15. His name is Christopher Paolini, by the way. He was 15 when he showed his parents his first draft of Eragon, the first book in the Inheritance Cycle, and they were really impressed with it, so they'd actually decided to self-publish it. And after a while, a book publishing company actually found his book series, and since then they've helped him publish these. Okay, so there are 2 genres for this series. The first one is fantasy because it has magic in it, it also has dragons in it, and the second one is adventure because they have to travel a lot to find a safe place, and I'll talk more about that when I'm talking about the plot. There are a few main characters. So the first one is Eragon, who obviously the first book is named after. Then there's his dragon Saphira. There's also the local storyteller Brom, who goes on traveling quests with Eragon, and then there's also Arya, who they have to save, and she's an elf. I think the biggest kind of character arc out of all of them will probably be Eragon, because he goes from a quiet, shy farm boy to being the one who has to save them all and kind of fight in many wars and stuff, so that's a very big character arc for him. And I think my favourite character would be Saphira, because she can be really sarcastic when she talks telepathically with Eragon, but she can also be really funny and nice. Okay, so it kind of starts out with Eragon, who's a poor farm boy, and he's just out hunting for food for his family, and he finds a really cool stone in the forest where he's hunting, so he takes it back, and after a few days it hatches, and he finds out that it's a dragon's egg. And so when the dragon hatches, he becomes a dragon rider, which basically means that he rides dragons, and a dragon has chosen him. So he names the dragon Saphira, but has to hide her because the local villagers in his town thinks that dragons are evil. And so while he's hiding her, he meets Brom, the local storyteller, and he knows about dragons, so eventually they have to leave to be able to keep Saphira and Eragon safe, and so they leave with Brom, and they travel for a long time, and they have to fight along the way, so they have to fight enemies and free elves and stuff like that, and they finally get to a safe place, but that safe place does become overrun with the enemy, and they do attack, so they have to fight their way out to a new piece of land where they eventually settle. But then Eragon and Saphira have to leave because they need to know more about dragons and magic. So they come to a new place where they can learn about that, and they do settle there for a while. And basically it's about dragon riders and kind of protecting the whole place of dragons and the whole unity of people who are elves and dwarves and crazy mythical creatures. So I have 2 favourite quotes that I've written down like usual. So the first one is, "That's the spirit, 1 part brave, 3 parts fool." And the second one is, "She's doomed, you're doomed, they're all doomed. Notice I didn't specify what kind of doom, so whatever happens, I predicted it. How very wise of me." So those are 2 of my favourite quotes from the book series. So overall the series was great. I think my only thing that I didn't like was that it was kind of slow to get into, but after you've read the 2nd chapter it gets a lot more interesting, and the plot kind of thickens up and it gets more exciting and tense, and you want to know what happens. So I would just say that if you are reading it, don't put it down before you get to the 3rd chapter, because that's where it starts to get interesting. I think the age for these books would be late tweens, early teens, because it does have some violent scenes, and actually there's a fair few because they have to fight a lot to survive. They're very detailed scenes and they're quite gory. It also does have really happy scenes. They have to be really resilient to rebuild their home. It's all about unity as they have to collectively act as one group and be strong together. It has some really nice moments between Saphira and Eragon, but yeah, if you do get scared easily or your parents don't want you reading violent books, unfortunately at the moment this isn't the book series for you. For these books I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. It's not quite up there with Percy Jackson or the Madoran Chronicles, but it's still a great book series. I would definitely recommend it to everyone here. So yeah, 10 out of 10 stars, absolutely loved it. That's all I have for you guys today. Make sure to get geeky and start reading. See you next time on Tween Hour.